Surprise, motherfuckers. What's up? This is your friendly neighborhood adventure Satanis in vacation mode, in mostly dad mode, and husband mode. So this video is going to be about thirst and dehydration and water and those kind of mechanics. As I hope everybody knows that watches this channel, Chult is for the vast majority, a desert world. Kind of like Tatooine and Dune, Dark Sun, all that stuff. So I'm thinking about a different, creating some sort of mechanic to facilitate all the things that go with not only desert travel, but desert adventuring on Chult. If you're in like a subterranean cave system or something like that where there is natural water, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you're wandering the Sikba wasteland, then water is like a primary concern. So this is kind of what I came up with. So you would assume at some point, either at the start of the adventure or previously, the PCs have loaded up on supplies, so they have a decent amount of water with them, represented by a D6 water die for each one of them. And at some point, they can role play their character drinking some water, taking a drink, hydrating, and then at that point, you could do it a couple different ways, especially if the party doesn't have a priest or a cleric, and that could just be like bonus hit points. Otherwise, you roll the water die, and then it's a d6. Let's say you get a 3, and then within the next hour, in-game time, you can use that 3 to boost any one of your die rolls. But if you roll a 1, then the game master collects, and this is all like kind of like what I've been thinking about, so nothing is set in stone, FYI. And the GM, it could be the player, but probably the GM collects a thirst die, and that could either be a random table, or if the game master has something in mind. I'd like to tie thirst to taking damage. Basically, you lose hit points, along with cosmic horror. And I'm thinking maybe you could bridge that gap with the buzzing or howling of demonic insects in the desert at night, which is, I believe, what Al-Azif means, which is the Arabic name for the Necronomicon. So, and just like the yawning black emptiness or cruelty of existence, tying it there somewhere as well. So you get, a bonus, and then you get a detriment. It kind of, balances it out. And that kind of appeal or symmetry or balance, as I said, I think is important when you're creating game mechanics. When I get back from vacation, I'll probably do a blog post or something, and we'll write all this down, and I'll have the opportunity to try it out at GaryCon. So that'd be cool. because there'll be a lot of chult, a lot of desert exploration going on. I've had like a number of iterations of this mechanic kind of in my head. Also thought of like there's a number of water dice. Like if you have 5 players, then there's 4 water dice, and there's 1 thirst die, and the last person to take the water has to roll the thirst die, and I thought about that, so I could go back to that, or maybe there's a way to merge the two. I don't know, but not only do I want to, these are design goals now. Not only do I want to make water and thirst and dehydration a part of the game, not for every adventure, but for some, at least to try it out to see what I think of it. But I also want, in the story, in the fiction, I want the players to role play that, because when you see spaghetti westerns and regular westerns, and you see desert travel, what other desert movies are there? Ishtar and Star Wars, maybe, and Dune, and other ones I can't think of right now. You see them, opening the canteen, taking a drink of water, and that's just a nice little moment that you can role play. And then I think the thirst and dehydration is another thing that should be explored in the fiction, and also you can role play off of. And I think the cosmic horror aspect is another one that I'd like to incorporate, because Chult is an eldritch campaign setting, among other things. It's eldritch, gonzo, science fantasy, post-apocalypse, and the more Lovecraft you can infuse in your game, in your campaign setting, your adventures, I think the better it's going to be. Just because, I love Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos, and that's kind of my jam. Alright, I think that's enough for this video. If you have thoughts, feel free to comment down below. I will try to respond when I get a chance, probably tonight or tomorrow, as I will be busy doing my thing. And if there's anything else I missed, let me know. I try to check Twitter a couple times a day, but otherwise I'm more or less off the grid. I'm not checking my emails or Facebook or anything like that, so I'm probably a little bit out of the loop until I return. Alright, have a good one, and maybe I'll see you at GaryCon. And hopefully I will see you at VengeryCon. Tickets are still available. So in July, Madison, Wisconsin, it should be like this. It should be in the 80s. It should be pretty nice. And it's also going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of Chult, a lot of game mastering, high level, epic level game mastering. God tier, like a fucking boss. So, speaking of which, the proofreaders are deep into the weeds, I assume, with advanced game mastering like a fucking boss. So I'll take a look at that when I get back and whip that into shape, and then send that over to drive-through for their vetting, and then release that 2 or 3 weeks from now. And hopefully you love that too. Hopefully there's a lot of tips and tricks and techniques that you can try, that you can experience for yourself, or just decide that, I don't know, maybe I'm full of it, maybe I'm onto something. To each of their own.